Okay, welcome members of council, welcome staff, and welcome anyone from the general public to our public meeting for July 20th, 2020. I'll hand it over at this point to Mrs. Haley, if you would please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to start off by sharing my screen so everyone can see my presentation. Okay, can everyone see my screen this evening?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. So welcome to our public meeting. This is a public meeting under Section 28 of the Ontario Planning Act. So I'm going to start off describing what is a community improvement plan. So our community improvement plan is a tool that municipalities can use in order to offer grant programs and loans to assist local residents and businesses. Section 28 of the Planning Act gives municipalities that have enabling policies in their official plans, which we do, the ability to prepare community improvement plans. Why would we implement a CIP? It's to encourage revitalization and stimulate development in the local community. The purpose of this public meeting is to meet the requirements of Section 28 of the Ontario Planning Act and to obtain comments from the public regarding the proposed amendments to the CIP. So what is the CIP process? We've completed informal public consultation with our CPAC, which is our Community Improvement Plan Advisory Committee. We wanted to obtain feedback from council in order to get council's advice to determine what type of amendments should be made to our community improvement plan. Our community improvement plan has been in effect since September 2018. So we worked with it for almost 2 years. So it was time to look at the document and do a refresh to accommodate any of the necessary changes to make sure it works better for our community. As we mentioned, we're required to hold a formal public meeting under the Ontario Planning Act, which is what we're doing here this evening. And the amended CIP will be reviewed by the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing. In fact, the draft document has already been sent to them for their review and their comment. Once we have their comments received, our goal is to bring to council for a first and second reading of the amended CIP at our August 4th council meeting. This will depend on when we receive the comments back from the ministry. If the ministry is a little delayed, then we may have to push this off into the September meeting. And at a September council meeting, we're hoping to have final reading and approval of the amended CIP. And it's possible that council may say you're very comfortable with the document and you're willing to do first and final reading as opposed to first and second, and then bring it back to a subsequent meeting. Once it's approved, we would then promote the community improvement plan. So the goals for our CIP is to encourage development improvement to attract people and business to South Glengarry, improve the pedestrian experience in Main Street areas of South Glengarry, and promote public investment in streetscapes and core commercials in South Glengarry. This is some examples of the feedback that we received from members of the CPAC and council. Eliminate phasing, as our current CIP opened up different areas over a 6-year period in our municipality. We also looked at increasing grants amounts for each program to allow applicants to receive more funds. Require applicants to prepare testimonials, once project is completed, and that's very easy to do and does not have to be part of our plan. Also, to put more focus on grants for accessibility improvements, allow for continuous application intake, which has now been implemented. We also don't need to incorporate that into our plan, so that was something that administration could do easily. Increase accessibility cap to 10,000. And when funding paving of commercial parking lots, ensure that they meet the accessibilities of Ontario standards. So the changes that we've made to the the CIP have been grammatical errors and corrected inconsistencies in the language. And that's fairly common when you have a document, you go back to it and you find some errors that need to be changed, or as I mentioned, inconsistencies. And so that has been completed. We've also updated the document to include the policies of the 2020 provincial policy statement, as that provincial policy statement came into effect of May 1st this year. We've provided 18 months for all program completions with the exception of 6 months for public art and window displays. 6 months is a common deadline to complete that task. Previously, different dates were provided, so more difficult to manage and remember. We updated wording on secondary facades, so it is very clear that the structures are meant to be located on corner lots. Just to explain that more specifically, in our building improvement program, we can provide funding for the main facade and funding for the secondary facade, providing it's visible from the street. It was intended to say providing it was located on a corner lot. And we removed the requirement for CIP, which is our advisory committee, to complete a site visit following the completion of the project, as this task has been completed by administration in the past. We also are proposing to increase the accessibility grant from a maximum of $5,000 to $10,000 for exterior renovations and $2,500 to $5,000 for interior renovations. And this was a wish from council. They were very adamant about creating increased funds for accessibility. Required paved parking lots to meet the interior accessibility laws. We added a definition for life cycle replacement and a description within the implementation portion of the CIP. What that means is community improvement plan dollars aren't meant to repair structures that should be maintained by the property owner. The CIP is meant to create visible improvements to make our streetscapes or street locations a nicer place to visit and more attractive looking location. We also are proposing to eliminate the phasing so that the funding is now applicable in all areas in our municipality, and expanded the boundary in Lancaster to include the Curling Club. This was a request that was made both by Curling Club member and a member of council. Expanded the boundary in North Lancaster to cover the main streets going east and west and north and south within the settlement area boundary. In our original map, we had a small section that was missing. And we included the updated RIP, which is the regional incentive program that is written and prepared by the United Counties and needs to be incorporated into the township's community improvement plan. So here's an example of the existing programs that we have. And the program that's highlighted in red being the accessibility, one-time grant of 50% to a maximum of $10,000 to the principal facade to provide access to buildings, and 50% to a maximum of $5,000 for interior improvements. This is the only funding limit that's proposed to be changed. And this was reviewed with our CPAC committee as well as a council. So our next steps would be to keep public consultation open until July 24th, 2020. So any member of the public can still provide comments to either myself or our clerk, Kaylin McDonald. Await comments from the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing staff. And then at that time, we would finalize the amended CIP document, bring it to council for first and second reading, and bring to council for final approval. And actually, I would like to hear from council this evening to see if they would like me to go straight to final, or if you would like to have the opportunity to do first and second. And that's it for my presentation this evening.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Haley, for the presentation. Is there any questions or comments from members of council? Deputy Mayor Warden? I don't see any.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Joanne, thank you for the presentation. Thank you for your work on this file. It's been come across my desk a few times, and I'd like to support this going to final reading. I think that everybody's, in my opinion, council's had their say to feedback. Hopefully members of the public will participate if they think they have something to add, and hopefully the ministry will just give us the green light. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor Warden. Any other comments or questions from members of council? I do agree with Deputy Mayor Warden that we did have time in regards to the CIP, so I would ask for the same thing, that we bring it right to the final reading. But if we can hear from other members of council how they feel in regards to that, please. Councillor McDonnell.
Oh.
Sorry, you're on mute. Oh, hang on. Wait.
Okay, we figured it out. Sorry, for some reason I couldn't click or unmute anything. No, I'll agree with Deputy Mayor Warden. I sit on the committee as the chair, and I have no issue with any of the plans for changes proposed. There was a lot of hard work and effort and thought that went into a lot of those changes, and I think they'll really benefit the community. I do look forward to reading some of the suggestions from the community, and if there's anybody else on council who has some other issues, myself or Deputy Mayor Warden could definitely help.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Not seeing none, Mrs. Haley. I think the majority, I guess, would like to see it as a final reading come back to council in, I guess, August or September probably, right?
Yes, it will depend on the timing of the comments from the ministry. If I have them in time for the August meeting, we'll absolutely bring the bylaw forward. Can you just confirm that there's no members of the public wanting to participate, please?
Yep, I can do that. There's
I think
nobody.
there's only one member of the public, Ms. Slinger, but she doesn't have her hand raised.
Ms. Slinger, did you have any questions or comments, or are you just participating and listening?
I received an email from her today in regards to the arena, so maybe she thought this was our council meeting. Could be.
Oh, is this not? I have never
You
been
can
to
grab
one
it.
of these
Yep.
before. I'm not sure what I'm even watching. So if that hasn't happened yet, then I'll log off and let you guys talk. But
No, that's fine. So yeah, no comments towards the public meeting this evening?
no.
All right, so our normal general council meeting will start at 7 p.m.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to
That's
log
okay.
off and let you guys do your thing. I'll come back at 7
All
o'clock.
right, see you then, or thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, if there's no
Okay,
other comments, Mrs. Haley?
No, that's excellent. Thank you very much.
Okay, if I can have somebody adjourn the public meeting? By Deputy Mayor Warden, second by Councillor Lang, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you at 7.
Thank you.